There's not a 3-year-old, there's not a 93-year-old who's ever picked up a basketball who doesn't like to shoot. Because after all, that's how you play basketball. You try to score points. So this is not a problem when it comes to trying to teach it, because all kids like to do it. Now, of course, you get to the challenges of how do you do it, when can you do it, how effective can you be when you do shoot. Before I start with the actual technical definitions of what shooting is and how you even do it at these ages, or even more importantly, how you teach it to children these ages, I want to go into a couple of very important items. I give credit to an organization called the American Sport Education Program out of Champaign, Illinois, who many, many years ago I read, this is what they think the height of basket should be for the children who play basketball in this country. From kindergarten to second grade, 6 feet. Third and fourth grade, 8 feet. Fifth grade, 9 feet. Sixth grade and up, 10 feet. And basketball, as you know, at the higher levels, what you see on TV at your local high schools, is played at 10-foot hoops. I always sort of use that as a benchmark because I have seen so many children at these ages try to launch shots at baskets that were too high. On the film here, you will see a bunch of 10, 11, and 12-year-olds shooting shots from various points and at 8-foot baskets and at 10-foot baskets, which we have here. In order to demonstrate how difficult this is and how mechanically unsound and flaws can pop up, I'm going to use my 9-pound ball to demonstrate. I am now standing literally 3 feet in front of this basket above me. If I take this ball and just practice proper shooting technique, which basically means my right foot, my shooting foot is in front, I try to keep my elbow over my knee, and what I try to do is push that ball up over the front of the rim, I can shoot this 9-pound ball at this distance fairly easily. It's a bit of a struggle, the ball is heavy, but I've shot a basketball millions and millions of times in my life, so I can somehow get it up there enough to shoot. Now, you will notice I am standing 3 feet from the basket. If I take one long step back, I am now probably 7, maybe even 8 feet from the backboard, maybe 6 or 7 feet from the front of the rim. I'll repeat the process, but you'll notice even from this so-called short distance, now what's happening, I really got to get my legs into it. I'll shoot it, and I'll make it. But that's beginning to get unnatural even for me. As I retreat back to the foul line, which is of course 15 feet away from the plane of the backboard and about 13 feet and change from the front of the rim, if I start to shoot, then what happens is I can no longer shoot a one-handed shot in front of my body. And this is what happens to so many children. So all of a sudden that one-handed shot that I had up here, I won't be able to reach the hoop. What I will do is now start to bring it down. And once it gets down by the shoulder, now what I do is somewhat to launching the ball. And what ends up happening is I can throw it, and I may make the shot, and I'll get it near. But as you saw with some of those girls who were shooting, when they get too far away, the ball comes down to the side, right here. If I drop back the three-point line here, and no one is more cynic of the three-point line than I am in this country. I don't even think kids should be shooting them till well into high school, let alone at middle school, let alone at elementary school. This is a 19-foot-9 line away from the plane of the backboard. In order for me to get a 9-pound ball almost 20 feet to the basket, what I really have to do is throw the ball probably from my hip, even to get it the distance, much less even get it near the rim. And guess what happens? There's no way. And you probably saw that with some of those young girls trying to shoot the ball, especially on the 10-foot hoop. So, kindergarten to second grade, 6-foot hoops if you can get them that low, 8-foot hoops for the third and fourth graders, fifth graders, 9-foot hoops, sixth graders. And believe me, I've seen plenty of 6th and 7th graders who have trouble at a 10-foot hoop. But there is something out here that is somewhat of a savior. And that is something we did in America for many, many years, up until 50, 55 years ago, the early 50s, is we shot two hands. I love two-hand shooting on younger kids because you add an extra arm of power, so to speak. You get the two hands behind, and it's not unlike a pass. In fact, one of my 5th grade teachers I remember over 40 years ago taught me the W with the thumbs and the fingers. You put the ball in front of you, and you just push up. And you know what? You get a little stronger shot. The trade-off is you're less accurate. you're stronger because you got the two arms, and that's why America became a one-hand shooting nation over 50 years ago, because one-handed shots proved to be more accurate. But you didn't get the length of the shot necessarily. But you'll notice as I shoot too, I can shoot. Even as I go back here to the foul line, 13, 14 feet away, I can take a decent two-hand shot, get it there, and make it. And not change my mechanics all that much. But even with the 9-pound ball, once I'm out here at the three-point line, I'll have to bring this ball down and really shake. And I may make one, and I will get it near the basket. But the key in the shooting is pretty simple. Can you lower the rims and have the ball small enough so you can begin to teach the children proper mechanics? I tell 3rd and 4th grade coaches all the time, if you're playing at 10-foot hoops, I'm not going to teach you how to teach the kids proper mechanics. Because once you start teaching those one-hand mechanics, then when they get out to the floor, of course, they're not going to have the strength and the coordination and gross motor skills, and they'll start launching it from their shoulders or their hips or even their ankles.